Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. It's been a while. It's been like 24 hours. It's not been too long since I did the previous live stream, and as I've told you all, I'm gonna try make this more of a daily thing. I'm just always trying to do it as often as possible, but of course I have to, make a couple of hours free because I'm not sure exactly how long they take. I just live stream whenever there's a good opportunity for it and whenever I feel as if it's better than making a video. Like, for example, right now, I have a couple of points that are up for discussion, and that's why I think a live stream might be better. And this, funny enough, is actually one of the only live streams with the notification that you'll most likely see for a very good while. So, what's up, guys? What's up? For most likely, it's most likely for a lot of people, it's the first time you're seeing me live. I think for a lot of people it is. But yeah, what's up, guys? What's up? So yeah, a lot to talk about today. More of a generic or general update, basically, on the entire situation. A lot of people have been wondering about what exactly is going on with XRP right now. So just, kind of do a little bit of a round here. Because, there's some stuff to talk about. So yeah. All right, I see we have 150 people in. I think that's already good enough to start going. Sometimes I forget how crazy that is, that so many people watch this stuff. So yeah, welcome. All right. XRP's use cases are basically the same as Bitcoin, says Ripple's Director of Developer Relations. This is by far the most interesting article of today, and if you are an XRP holder, you definitely want to know about this one right here. All right, it just came out and it's quite interesting. So, Ripple's Matt Hamilton says XRP has the same use cases as Bitcoin, and both coins are decentralized, and why XRP is not similar to Nano, as kind of an example. All right, XRP, these are quotes, is a better version of Bitcoin, but their use cases are the same. And XRP is a more decentralized than Bitcoin, but totally different from Nano. Well, already straight at the bat, let's say one thing, all right? XRP is decentralized, and XRP has use case a lot more than it in comparison to Bitcoin. I think we've discussed that a ton of times by now on the channel, so you most likely already know, but it's a really fun thing that people put up here saying that XRP has no use case or that Bitcoin has some good use case. I mean, I don't really know exactly what Bitcoin's use case would be, except for being a store of value, but theoretically speaking, every crypto that's scarce to a certain degree has that, right? And the different level of scarcity is almost impossible to say because one Bitcoin can be split up into 100 million pieces. And so if people start to value, where exactly does the scarcity end? It's just because people decided, okay, 100 million of these things are one specific unit. Let's call that a Bitcoin. And that's, again, what we're going to see as scarce. But it's kind of a difficult thing, all right? I've actually explained before how scarcity is really hard to measure because scarcity is relative to something else. For example, gold. Is it really scarce? Well, yes, because there's a finite amount of it. But how scarce is something? Well, it's scarcer than silver is. But in the crypto realm, things become a little bit more difficult because we're not talking about the same units anymore. Right? I mean, in gold or silver, you're basically talking about the one unit, which is, for example, pounds, grams, ounces, you pick it. You have one entity or unit which you basically measure everything in. With Bitcoin and XRP and whatnot, the unit is the supply, but the supply can be broken up to whatever degree you want. And from that perspective, scarcity on its own and being a store of value isn't really a use case if you were to ask me, because even though Ethereum has no hard cap, it's still scarce because it will never go above a certain boundary. But that's just my thoughts about that. Let's quickly read into this article a little bit. I think it was quite interesting. XRP is a better version of Bitcoin, but their use cases are the same. When responding to a tweet in which the author states that no banks use XRP and that it is a useless and centralized copy of Bitcoin, Ripple's Director of Developer Relations, Matt Hamilton, wrote that these assumptions are very far from the truth. Hamilton explained that the XRP was created as a better version of Bitcoin by Bitcoin developers as soon as they realized that Bitcoin energy usage cannot be scaled. That's a really important thing, all right? Right here. Hamilton, key part of Ripple, key part of XRP, explained that XRP was in fact created as a better version of Bitcoin by Bitcoin guys. Remember that. as soon as they realized that Bitcoin energy usage cannot be scaled. This is not completely true, at least as far as the common knowledge goes here. Most likely these guys made it because they could make a better version of Bitcoin, not necessarily because they saw all the limitations in it. Well, they just saw there's a couple of ways to do it better, like Litecoin had in the same sort of vision. You can just do some stuff better, let's do it. That's what they did, and eventually it found use case. Saying it's only because the energy usage cannot be scaled, I think that's a stretch, but you guys get the picture. As for use cases for XRP, according to Hamilton, they are basically similar to those of Bitcoin. Provision of P2P payments which do not require any third party. Hey guys, by the way, in the chat box right now, where you guys are watching from? This is a live stream. Yes, it's not a it's not a video, it's a live stream for all of you that are watching it right now. Let me quickly see where you guys are all watching from. Most likely all around the world. I always get excited about that. Whenever I see all those different countries, it's just, I don't know, it's fun to me. Sometimes we see countries I've never heard before even. So yeah, we have Brazil in the house, New Jersey. Let's see. We just got 2 people in the house, I guess. I don't see any other comment. Well, oh, Toronto as well. And Wales. Cali. All right. So, I guess pretty diversified. Not as big as a crowd as normal. Or maybe you guys are just coming up a little bit later. My chat box might be a little bit lagged. But all right, that's pretty cool already, guys. Oh, okay, there we go. Look at all those places, man. Look at that, guys. Look at the chat box just now. And kind of imagine that all these people in this same community right now, just all across the world, literally. Isn't that kind of crazy? At least to me, it feels crazy. All right, but let's just read it without further ado. Chesbot.eth said, I've never had a good answer to the question, what does XRP actually do? I almost get annoyed right here. Almost. Not going to say I am, but I almost get annoyed. What does XRP actually do? Get some vague answer about banks using it for settlements, except no banks are doing that. It's basically a centralized Bitcoin. Hard to imagine anything more useless. Whew, look at that, huh? You almost want to kind of, slap. No, I'm not going to say that. But you almost want to, that's stupid. Matt Hamilton replied and said, no, it is decentralized just like Bitcoin. XRP was created by Bitcoin developers as a better Bitcoin once they realized that Bitcoin's energy usage was not scalable. So its use cases are basically the same as Bitcoin, making peer-to-peer payments without a trusted third party. And I would say it has everything that Bitcoin has plus more. And you can't really go back and forth on that one. I think we should all agree. XRP has what Bitcoin has plus extra. And here there was a little bit of a discussion about Nano. So one guy said, this is crypto. Anything that can't do this might be crypto, but it's not currency, Nano. And then it talks about point of sale and a little bit of a quick sale. But Nano does those P2P use cases even better than XRP without the exclusionary minimum wallet balance that eliminates more than half the world's potential users and 100% fully distributed. So the guy came back in, Matt Hamilton, saying, sure, Nano has some interesting features, but that has nothing to do with the use cases of XRP. Maybe Nano will get some adoption one day, which is a pretty funny little jab, mostly on the fact that people often from all directions like to hate XRP, but you can subcategorize that in 2 parts. One is the 2 guys that are above it. And the only 2 guys that I consider to be above XRP are Ethereum and Bitcoin. Well, from Bitcoin's perspective, it's kind of dumb because a lot of Bitcoin holders actually have XRP too. A lot of XRP holders right now used to be Bitcoin guys, and it's not really a war, right? I guess for Ethereum, it's a little bit more competition because Ethereum is this very well-known cryptocurrency that's actually usable to some degree for payments, even though it isn't, except for maybe layer 2 solutions. Otherwise, it's pretty garbage. So it's actually used for things like, for example, the smart contract realm, yet cryptos more and more are taking that over too. Like there's Cardano, there's so many different ones, but even XRP right now, with the proposal of federated sidechains and with NFTs on the XP ledger, it's taken over Ethereum. And I can kind of see why people in the Ethereum community will be kind of salty towards it, but that's category number 1, right? Almost all other coins are below it, and they only hate it, I think, to get some attention. That's what I'm thinking. I think the majority of those guys like Nano, they just want some of that XRP community clout. They just want some of these guys to just switch on over and maybe just check them out. I don't know, guys. I don't really feel as if Nano has anything to do, or it's not in the same ballpark as XRP in my opinion. Do you guys agree with that too? It's like, There's not that many cryptos that actually have the same type of utility as of this degree. And you can also not tell me that many cryptos have the same type of adoption in terms of banks. You might say, oh, it has no banks. Really? Is that what you're trying to tell yourself? And by the way, a lot of you guys like Chris here are saying, Bitcoin just now realizing XRP is the one. We have preached it for years now. Why won't they listen? You know, that's a really interesting part. I have told you guys before about how billionaires will hop on into this cryptocurrency realm. To be a little bit more specific, I believe firmly, and I have reinstated that a couple of times before, that a lot of billionaires, a lot of guys with a lot of money like hedge funds will hop on into this crypto realm in due time. It might take a little bit of a while, but they will come on in. It might just take a little bit of a while, like I just explained. What that in turn also kind of, gets towards is that at first, some billionaires and some hedge funds will hate it. Then, so they'll be anxious for it. They'll say, I don't know about it. Then they'll hate it. Then there'll be another little phase of something. And then it will be ass kissing. And the same thing is kind of for XRP. It's like right now, we are in that phase where people are just hating it to the freaking core. And then again, it also has to do with the fact that people have lost their faith a little bit because of this lawsuit. People are just generally more afraid to be wrong than to try something. What I mean with that is people don't like to bet on a dying horse, right? And a lot of people don't want to bet on XRP because they have a lawsuit. And maybe if they support it right now, it might be that they were wrong because they're going to lose the lawsuit, and hence these types of articles. This is extreme FUD. I personally think it's extremely dumb, but look at it. Ripple XRP looking weaker than other cryptos with the ongoing SEC battle. These types of articles, I can hear some sound. What is... You guys are sometimes mocking me with the FBI open up stuff, but sometimes, man, there should be nobody in this vicinity. Should I check? Why do I have this sometimes? What do I do? Oh. Okay, you know what? If I hear something else, I'll go check it out. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, so maybe one day when I'm live streaming, you just hear FBI open up. Yeah. At least it will be live, right? So we have a story to tell. Woo. All right, but I don't know what that is. I'm a little bit afraid, I guess, because I have no idea what it could be. No, we're good. I think we're good. I think maybe I'm just imagining it. Whatever. So, Ripple XRP is looking weaker than other cryptos with the ongoing SEC battle. This actually has to do with what I just told you all. It basically has to do with the fact that people have lost their faith and they would rather just hate on something. The same thing goes for Peter Schiff and Warren Buffett. They would rather hate on something than try it out because what if they are wrong? So, I'll give a key example of myself. If I were to now say, oh guys, you really have to buy this specific crypto which has a certain name, and it turns out that I was wrong because the crypto went so shit, you guys will most likely think I'm a lunatic or an idiot or dumb for trying it out. And especially guys with this freaking stature like Warren Buffett don't want to kind of take that risk. They want to stay with investments which the majority of people can stand behind, and him bashing crypto could be for two main reasons. Three. One, he's just afraid of this technology, he doesn't understand it. Two, he's too afraid to be wrong. And three, it interferes with his current, things that he's doing, like, for example, his bank investments and whatnot, and his other investments. With XRP, it's kind of the same thing. People don't want to invest, but mostly people don't want to talk about investing, even though I firmly think a lot of the people that are hating on XRP in the forefront are actually XRP holders. Why am I saying that? It's because most likely, BitBoy has had XRP all this time. He might have acted like he hated it, but it doesn't mean he actually didn't hold any. And I know so many big Bitcoin bulls. So guys that come out for Bitcoin, almost any YouTuber in the crypto realm, almost all of them, I wouldn't be able to point out, I guess maybe Da Vinci, but the majority of them, almost any single one I know, holds XRP, even though they don't talk about it. Some of them are not going to hate it publicly. Some of them are just kind of bashing it a little bit publicly. But the majority of them actually do hold the crypto because, well, there's a very good risk to reward, and I've expressed that a couple of times before. The risk to reward is just juicy, where it's the fact right now that if they win this lawsuit, huge premium. If they lose this lawsuit, most cryptos will fall, so it's worth the risk. Dakota says, Dusty, have you seen them gaps? I have no idea what you mean with that. And Chris says, XP is my largest bag, but I am giving other crypto a chance as well. I want want all to do well. Guys, on this channel, I will never tell you to just hold one crypto. I think that's the dumbest thing to do. If you're limiting yourself to only having one crypto, it might become a really difficult battle to hold on through, or you might get stressed out. No, diversify your bag properly to be just in cryptocurrency, not in XRP. Be in crypto. Be a crypto holder, not just an XRP holder. That's my own personal thought process, right? Even though you might say, oh no, I like XRP the other. No. Even though, let me say it like this, right? Another analogy. Okay, so you have different bags that lay on the floor. Now, there's a good chance that your bag has the best contents. Definitely has. But if you're gonna, if some bags are gonna get trampled and you don't know which ones from the front, even though yours, if it would get picked up or just remain, it would be the best one to have, right? Because you only own one basket. What if your basket gets trampled in some miraculous way? You had some good protection and you were looking really good to not get trampled because you're really obvious and you're doing really good. I don't freaking know, man. The analogy doesn't work exactly to the core anymore, but you get the idea. If you, however, had some money in different baskets that were laying on the floor, even though some of them might have less potential or less freaking eggs inside or less fruits, pick something, there's at least less of a chance to get completely trampled because this guy who's doing this little Russian dance on all those baskets is going to have to do some really hard work to trample all of those baskets in the end of things, right? He might trample 4 out of the 5, but hey, then you still have one left. And that's one fun thing about investing. In traditional investing, what we often do is that you buy or sell stocks that have an inverse correlation with others, so that if some stocks do good, some stocks might do bad, but mostly the other way around. If some do extremely bad, you at least have some which will still do good. Almost any hedge fund does that too. I'm going to say every hedge fund does that. With crypto, it's a little bit harder because the crypto market right now just goes up as a whole and goes down as a whole. And the only quote-unquote hedge that you could have is stablecoin, which is just fiat, which really isn't that much of a hedge then. It's like just a safeguard. It's not like an inverse, it's a neutral. Now, from that perspective too, I would say that with crypto, as time goes on and utility kicks in, basically once Bitcoin loses more of its dominance or altcoins overtake some of that dominance, I firmly believe that some of the cryptos which we know and love are going to move independently off of Bitcoin. And right now, just a little fun example here is how the market, the S&P, is actually just continuing on with its rampage, and Bitcoin is not going necessarily that perfect. What does that show me? Well, the only thing that it kind of shows me is that before people always said, okay, so Bitcoin and the S&P will move in tandem with each other, it'll move in the same type of fashion, the same type of order. Well, yeah, but not always, because Bitcoin now has actually fallen quite drastically over a little while, has had a pretty steep correction, and the S&P hasn't. The fact that the S&P didn't have a huge correction right now, while Bitcoin did have a pretty big one, actually does show me a lot more positive vibes. Most of the time, when Bitcoin has a huge move like what we saw in 2020, the S&P has the same type of consequences. And what this does show me, though, is that if this were a quote-unquote bear market like you said, one thing that's a lot is that the correlation with the S&P has now finally been kind of tucked away. Why? Well, even though the S&P is pumping up, Bitcoin did a little bit worse or did bad a little bit. That's really good. And the same thing's going to happen piece by piece for other cryptos too as time moves on. So it's just basically there's one point or another where just snap. The same road is not going to be taken anymore. A couple of coins like Theta already sometimes do it, but generally speaking, no. All right, most cryptos follow in the same road. There's two things to say, but let me quickly see. Chris said, unfortunately, Vechain isn't moving. I really think it has a lot of potential, really cheap right now. We have some stuff to talk about regarding Vechain, so just wait on that, this article here. And somebody else said, Dusty, did you hear what BitBoy said about the white paper of XRP? I have no clue. I don't personally watch BitBoy, nor can I ever tell you that it's a smart idea to watch people like that. But again, you do you, all right? The thing I have with some of those guys is that they really like to, they have a big team behind them, and they like to over dramatize things where it's like, I have these insiders, I have this knowledge, and this, that. That's all kind of taken out of thin air, or just a prediction that makes absolutely no sense to anybody who's been here for more than a couple of weeks. But to some people who are new, they like to hear what they got to say. No hatred towards BitBoy, because again, he's just doing his thing, and it's working like a charm, so I got to give him some respect for that, definitely so. My man is doing really awesome. But from the perspective of, would I watch it? Do I think there's a lot of information that I can gather from there? No, not really, at least. As of this point, no. So I haven't watched it, and I don't know what exactly he's talking about, nor do I think it's worth my time. But that's just me. If you enjoy this stuff, hey, all on you, man. Come on. Everybody has their own opinion on things, and everybody should check out what they like. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have a ton of articles, actually. Ripple and Bitcoin, what they are good for. There's actually a really funny article, mostly in the perspective that it doesn't actually cover too much about what they actually do. Why? Well, it's actually pretty difficult to say exactly what a crypto does. What does a crypto do? What does a crypto do? What does a crypto do? Well, that's pretty difficult. I mean, a crypto is just like a normal currency, right? But then decentralized, or is it? Well, if so, then what does a currency normally do? Well, currency has a couple of properties. Do crypto have the same type of properties? Well, I would say yes. Some of the guys in the real economic space that have got their degrees and whatnot say no. We can go back and forth on that for a long time, but what exactly should it do is my better question, I guess. I personally think cryptocurrencies should have the same properties as money, which they already have, and next to it should have nothing necessarily. They can, however, have some. Why? Well, people often make this little assumption that crypto should get more use cases, should get this, that extra. Why though? If they are meant to make this world a better and easier place in the form of, for example, cross-border payments, being a currency that's quote-unquote cheaper than others or cheaper to utilize, well, that's the use case on its own, right? Whatever you're building for it is, I would say, utilizing the use case being made. But that again is kind of a wordplay thing. If Ripple, for example, builds an entire extra ecosystem for XRP, are they building use case or are they helping out the use case to fully develop itself? It's mostly in my perspective that the use case is XRP being a perfect settlement or cross-border coin, and the utility is broadening itself out by Ripple's operations or just more and more partners helping them out. By the way, if you're all wondering where you can buy XRP, we made a little video on that. I haven't checked the comments for that one just quite yet, but BitBoy said the same thing about you, Dusty. I don't think BitBoy has any idea who I am, my guy, so I don't necessarily think so. And once more, there's no hatred in the end of things, so I'm not sure exactly what he can say. I told you just now, everybody has their own niche, everybody has their own thing. With BitBoy, it's different than the content I provide. It's not something I would enjoy, but I can definitely understand why people would watch it. It's almost the same thing for any other YouTuber or any other content creator in general out there. Everybody has their own part that they like and stuff that they, how do I explain? You guys know what I mean. Somebody says, Dusty, I think he had a lot of information. Maybe you can find out. I might actually check it out, but I don't think there's anything that we didn't know before. But I might check it out for you, right? To maybe give a little bit of a more accurate update. By the way, guys, we have almost 450 people watching. If you're watching right now and you are enjoying these episodes, make sure you press that little like button. Why? Well, it helps out and it doesn't cost you anything at all. And I just think some of you guys forget to press it. Let me quickly remind you guys of it. Even if you just start out these videos and you want to help out the channel so much, all you have to do is just press that like button. You're making my day, right? Really, you do. It kind of feels weird to say that, but I just think it helps the video perform a little bit better, which is why I think it's smart to say. Here we had Ripple XRP price analysis. XRP unable to overcome resistance at 70 cents. What is next? This type of stuff always makes my blood burn too. It's not like this is actually a really big problem at all. People are just trying to make you think so diminishingly or so small. Look at this, right? Two ways to see this. One is, okay, the price is going down, downtrend, bada boom, bada bing. Another one, if you actually look into it, is, okay, we went down for a little bit, okay, but we're recovering. We're basically picking up back the pace from here. And we might have to adjust this downwards a couple of times. We might have to even go towards this slope, but it doesn't matter. Because actually, from June 22nd on forward, we are in an uptrend. We are. You can't say it otherwise. We are. So I would like to say, it just also depends on your analysis though. If you're a longer term type of guy, this might be a little bit better. If you're a short term type of guy, I want to trade for the short term, well, again, it doesn't really matter that much. Generally speaking though, it does showcase the trend in XRP versus Bitcoin, which means, okay, over a little bit of a longer period of time, XRP has performed worse than Bitcoin has, which means Bitcoin taking up more dominance most likely, which most likely means that a alt season is not here anymore. We have a couple of sources which I've shared before to check that. But nah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just buying whenever I get the chance. If it goes down lower, I'll buy some extra, and that's how we roll about these things. And by the way, guys, yes, I hold XDC. A lot of you guys have asked it throughout these last couple of weeks, man. I keep putting it over on Twitter. And when I buy it, I always buy it on bitrue. That's my go-to exchange for buying these crazy coins that you always recommend as well. I always use bitrue. A link is down below. And by the way, where the frick is Flare indeed? The Spark thing, where is it? It was supposed to launch in June, plus minus 2 to 4 weeks, but it's been taking a good while. It's been taking a very good while. They're taking their time, at least at the Flare headquarters, I guess. I'm also not exactly sure what they're waiting for, but that might just be my fault. You know, I can't really say that's... Maybe that's been communicated properly. I just don't know. I really would have no idea what's keeping them so long. All right, let's quickly see. We have a lot of stuff. Then we have Ripple v SEC case has gone a bit cold, some in the XP community believe. This, guys, is again what I've just expressed to you. People have lost some faith. The community has gone sour for a good part, and a lot of people have switched over their XRP to different cryptos and stopped holding. I have not, but I noticed it in the comment section. Let me quickly know in the chat box right now. Are you still holding your XRP, or have you sold it and moved on? The reason I'm asking is because I see it so often. People are mocking me, saying we're lunatics and idiots for still believing in XRP. I don't personally get it. I think if you ever believed in XRP, then why don't you believe in it now? Like, the risk to reward is right now better than it ever was before, so changing your mind is interesting to me. But what have you guys done? See here? Okay, so we have a couple of people in the chat box who've also changed their mind. You can already see it. Vince, for example, says, I'm converting all my XRP to Monero and a different thing. Just a little bit of an example. But if you check through my comments of the normal videos, you know how many people say, oh, Dusty, freaking idiot, I sold XRP a long time ago, best decision of my life, and that type of stuff. Okay, you're saying security testing for Flare? Huh. Okay. I guess we can't really do too much about that. And they most likely can't do too much about it too. I guess rather a little bit longer and certain than too early and be broken, right? So I like that crying to wannabe saying, I converted everything into XRP. That's pretty funny. Yeah, my approach is just, we either hold to the bitter end or we hold to the bitter end. There's no other option besides that. I just hold to the bitter freaking end. There's no way around that. I've told you guys about that, right? Yeah. We either retire with $100 million or we go completely broke with $0 to my name. That's the ultimatum. There's no way around it. I guess there's one way around it, which is to retire with, 10 billion, maybe something like that. But your goal is higher, not lower. No, but I'm not going to zero. We're not going to zero, and I'm not selling those coins, man. I've been in this one for too long. We're taking it to the core. By the way, again, I'm not only talking about XRP, I'm talking about crypto in general. I will never sell my crypto to loss unless it's this shitty altcoin which I decided to try out. Then maybe. But no proper crypto I will sell for lower than I bought for now. That ain't me. That ain't me, my guys. That ain't me. I want you guys sometimes in the future just tell me, Dusty, man, look at what I bought with my crypto holdings. Look at this Lamborghini I just bought because we believed in the process. That's the type of stuff I want to see. I don't want to hear like, yeah, I got into crypto, but I sold it. Too bad, man. Yeah, if only I held, huh? No, I don't want to hear those stories. I want to hear, look at what I bought because I had enough faith. Can I tell you guys that's the best decision? No, because we might end up completely broke, okay? But I don't know. It's my choice, I think. And Jasper says, just don't buy shit you don't believe in. Very good point. Very good point. Dean asks for a price pro on September, please. You know what, guys? The price predictions have actually kind of diminished here for a little while. I mean, there's a couple of different theories and scenarios. Like, one thing people used to always do is just put up hypothetical prices for a certain point in the future. Specifically, those Ripple Riddlers used to put up a lot of different prices and with a lot of different dates. That has kind of stopped. But what has also stopped is just people doing the wishful thinking, saying, hey, it's going to go to 10,000 or 90,000 or 5,000 or 500 or 4,033 for miscellaneous reasons. Or some analysis pointing towards 188. All that type of stuff is kind of gone. I haven't seen too many of them in the last couple of months. I think partially that's because of the SEC lawsuit and some of the guys don't want to sound dumb. But also just a little bit of a different narrative right now. People are more so with XRP over the last couple of weeks for utility than hype and just the marketing / hype. BitBoy, I guess, his video here is the counterexample, saying $30. I mean, he says those quote-unquote high prices for every crypto. He's not wrong, but I like to just not do that, mostly on the basis that you're giving people something to believe in that's too far from reaching it quickly. $30 per XRP is definitely possible. I've told you guys on multiple occasions that I think $100 per XRP is actually not that crazy. But saying that $30 is, for example, going to happen in the next 1 year, can I say so? No, of course not. What is going to get the price there? I'm not sure. Where can the lawsuit, realistically speaking, take us? Well, I mean, the lawsuit, what would it do in terms of good? Well, it would get the downwards pressure gone because, well, a lawsuit is lifted. We'd get more exchanges to list it, and we'd get XRP to have full clearance. We'd also get more partners because XRP has this full clearance, so we have a couple of points, right? But does that mean that the demand for XRP all of a sudden is going to, let's say, 50-fold over that period of time? So going to $30 then, because it feel 50-fold. No, I would say, it's not that crazy if it maybe 10-folds, right? If people's faith and trust and demand for this crypto 10-folds because they want a lawsuit, wouldn't be too crazy. But for it to 50-fold, so go times 50, I don't know about that, my guys. I don't know about that. And I've told you guys before, with my own strategy, if everything goes according to plan, with our trading that we're going to be doing, all it needs to take is going to, like, for example, like $5 or $6, and we're making already a couple of millions, so it doesn't matter to me. By the way, guys, what I'm going to do is go on Bybit. That's actually where I trade XRP most of the time. The link is down below. I'm not sure exactly what the bonuses are right now, but link down below, you'll see Bybit. That's the place I used to trade. And there's also a VPN down below, I think, if you want one of those, if you're in the US. But, yeah, we're going to go on Bybit basically once we get a settlement and trade XRP. I already have a couple of orders in, but I might have to change a couple of them up because of the huge volatility over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Polaris says, have you ever heard of insiders selling at all-time lows if they knew big things were coming? Wait, they are dumping it? Why would they dump it at these lows if it was going to $10 plus and they knew it? Have you ever heard of insiders selling it? Why are you talking about all-time lows? What exactly does that mean? I mean, all-time lows for XRP are close to zero, and right now we are at 66 cents. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean with that. So let me reread that again. They are dumping. Why would they dump it at these lows if it was going to $10 plus and they knew it? Who are you talking about, my guy? And also, like Ace says, it is called price manipulation. Well, it is mostly mental manipulation as well. If you believe that every investor who knows is going to get to some point always goes in that direction initially, I think you're in the wrong. Some people play the freaking mind game. For example, even though I know that let me not say I know. I think that XRP will reach at least $20 at one point or another. Does that mean I will buy XRP with every single penny I have? No. Does that mean I'll buy XRP at every single price point? No, not necessarily. I'll still wait for good areas to buy. And I still might even sell some XRP to buy back cheaper, for example. That's the key part you're missing. Some people might just sell it right now or literally dump just to buy back cheaper or just to manipulate the market to go down further to be able to buy more. So I don't know about that argument, my guy. Even though some of these whales might know where it's going to go, it's a long road before we get there. And they most likely have enough time to just change their mind again or change their strategy or whatever, go on with their strategy to buy back in before we actually get there. And usually when XRP goes up, it goes in a flash. So even that one of saying, oh, what they know, they might not know, right? Because usually these things are like, snap. Okay, let's quickly see. What is going to happen with Ripple XRP? Well, let's actually do a little bit of a summary here. Let's do a little bit of a summary. Let me actually get you guys the live coin watch open as well. Can we get that to go? There we go. All right. So what is going to happen? Well, logically speaking, XRP is going to be following Bitcoin to a really far extent. All right. Exactly where along it will go on the XP to BTC, we do not know, but it will follow Bitcoin to a certain degree. That is regarding the price. There's been a ton of FUD right now. People are saying it's looking weak, or people are saying it's going down, and people are saying they've sold their XRP. Yet, the majority of us really haven't budged. It's just a minority that's shouting the loudest. In terms of the lawsuit, things are still doing good. It's taken a long time before the judge says anything, but one of the conclusions which we saw was that the judge has so many different cases at once. She's working on it. Just wait for it. Be patient. And I can also, kind of get behind that. In regards to utility, XRP's utility keeps on expanding with more partnerships being built every single day. I must admit we are not hearing as much about the RippleNet partners as usual, but logically, they have a really important XRP/Ripple lawsuit going on right now, so that part is also not that crazy. At least from my perspective, it isn't. And in terms of price right now, 67 cents. You might consider this high, you might consider this low. If you compare it to what we were a year ago, in March 2020, for example, it's pretty damn high. Right? It's looking pretty damn good because you still would have six-folded your money. If you're comparing it to where we were 2 months ago, it's looking pretty bad because we've gone to 1/3 of the price. However, if you're looking at it from a gains perspective, XRP is actually the only crypto that's really, really close, for example, within the top 10 to freaking 500% gains to its all-time high. And it's actually one of the only cryptos here that I can see, except for maybe, I'm not even sure about Bitcoin Cash, that actually hasn't hit their all-time high in this newer run that we saw. But all right, I see one guy saying, Polaris again, you said two things. Let me quickly see the previous one. You guys are being naive. Would you sell at these lows to risk the opportunity of a lifetime if you knew it was going to $10? Let's quickly see the other one you said. You say they are doing that, but would you do that if you were an insider and knew? Would you dump 240 million? Of course not. But they are because it fits your hope. What? I don't know if you have your facts correct, my guy. So you're talking 240 million like that Jim McCaleb dumped? I think you're talking about Jim McCaleb, one of the co-founders who had 9 billion from the get-go. So there's two things to say. One, yes, I would most likely still do that. If I were an insider, right, then I would most likely know where we're going to go at many more points, right? So if I would sell right now, it will most likely be because I know it's going to get more cheap or because I know I'm going to make more money otherwise. Elsewhere. If you know it's going to go to, but again, insiders don't know it's going to go to $10 necessarily. I don't know how you got that idea. How can somebody exactly know it's going to get there unless you believe in the manipulation from the get-go as well? But then, okay, let's do 2 steps back. Polaris, make up your mind. Do you believe in manipulation, yes or no? If your answer is yes, well, then they can just manipulate the price to wherever they want. So if they dump, they'll do that deliberately. And if it goes to $10, it'll be because they want it so. If you say no, then how do you know that those guys know that it's going to go to $10? If they're insiders, doesn't mean they can determine the price unless you're talking about manipulation. That's actually, I think, the key fault in what you're saying. You have to pick a choice. Not say no, but they know it's going to go to $10, but they don't know the intermediary. That's half. I don't believe in that story. So it's one or the other. Let me see what you respond to that one. Justin says, thoughts on John McAfee? Is it all? He was a big player in crypto and worth looking at. Justin, however much I have to say about that, I don't want to get too far into that, just on the live stream here. The YouTube channel, I don't know, man. I don't know if YouTube likes that type of stuff too much, so I'm going to be a little bit careful with going over the John McAfee and the QFS stuff a little bit from now on forward, so. Ace says, Dusty, I'm having trouble deciding an exit strategy percentages, selling 60% altcoins and 40% high market cap coins, keeping the rest. What do you think? My guy, I will not do that type of stuff in a live stream. Specifically, talking about people's specific scenarios is really stupid on my end. So I will not do that. It's also not smart to tell you what I think. I don't think so. Crypto Fanboy says, Maddie, unfortunately not. It's practically mathematically improbable. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about, but I don't see our guy's response just quite yet of Polaris. We had a couple of interesting things to say. Let's actually quickly ask. I'll make a poll for it. No, I don't have to. Do you guys believe in manipulation in the crypto market? Oh, he responds saying, search XRP is a scam and read all the comments on the cryptocurrency Reddit. They launched and kept most of the supply for themselves and dump on retailers. Okay, it's going to be this type of discussion, huh? Search XRP is a scam on Reddit, he says. Oh, okay. We have another one of those. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Search Doge is a scam. Search Tesla is a scam. Search Elon Musk is a scam. Search Jack Ma is a scam. Search the government is a scam. Search Bitcoin is a scam. Search Ethereum is a scam. Search Tether is a scam. Search BNB is a scam. Search ADA is a scam, and so forth and so on. I'm not exactly sure what you want me to do right there, my guy. I don't know. But let's please answer the question, Polaris. Uh, From the perspective of will people want to make money with a crypto? Of course. For example, the creators of XRP, they said basically saw Bitcoin, and these were Bitcoin guys, right? And they knew there was something better to be made. So they made an XRP and then started to base new uses off of that. You cannot tell me that most creators of a specific project don't do it with the intent to make money. You can say, oh, but they want utility, this, that, they want to make the world a better place. Yeah, partially, but most guys in this world, 99% of the people, don't do it only to better others. They do it to better themselves at least a little bit. Bitcoin's founder has 1 million Bitcoin. Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin not necessarily hasn't got that much because they actually had a pre-sale, but Joe Lubin from Consensus has a lot of Ethereum. A lot of Ethereum, became a billionaire off of it. I mean, yeah, Vitalik is also a billionaire, so I guess, Tether, I have no idea because I don't really, mess around with Tether too much. BNB, let's not even get started with BNB. It is literally a centralized, decentralized realm because we know it's a copy. The Binance Smart Chain, for all of you that do not know, is a copy of Ethereum. It's literally a copy. They say it. Everybody knows it. And what they did is make it more centralized. They took the way that Ethereum works with its huge amount of nodes, scrambled it down to 21, making it more centralized but a lot more efficient, bigger block size and whatever, but almost impossible to do for just a normal average Joe. It's only institutionally possible to handle. ADA, people call it a scam all the time. Why? Because throughout all these years, they really haven't gotten too much on the market. They're worth $45 billion, yet you can't really launch, at least maybe now things are changing, I guess, but you couldn't even really launch things on ADA. You couldn't really do too much with it. It was just a proof of concept. So you can definitely say, oh yeah, that's a big scam because, whoa, it didn't actually have a working product. It's just a concept or an idea. And with XRP, you can always say, well, the founders had a lot of coins, so it's a scam. Well, I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? Can you say the founders wanted to make money with this? Of course. Just like any other project that almost any other company in the world that's ever been built. Can you say it's a bad thing, though? Not necessarily. I mean, it would be a bad thing, in my opinion, if the founders actually were to hold on to the end of things, to the end of days. Why? If you think about it, I would rather have those founders selling a part of it sooner rather than later, because if the price really does go up, and they want to have that certainty of selling at a lower price, well, at least they can't cash out when things really start to get pumping up, right? Don't you think if Jeff Bezos knew that the value of his company would go times 100 from here forward, that he would not sell $3 billion every quarter, or how much ever he sells, right? A couple $1 billion he sells every quarter. If he knew that was going to go 100-fold, he probably wouldn't do that. However, there's two other reasons why he might. One, maybe he wants some money and he already has enough. Two, he might want to diversify the risk because you can never know for certain. Three, he might want to, put a couple of things in other things, and yeah, I don't know, man. ET Baby says, Dusty, too chicken to call out my 20 cents price. What do you mean with that? You mean XRP is going at 20 cents? It turned into a pretty rough discussion here, I think. Luke says, Dusty, do you think the price would go up if Ripple burns their XRP and Escrow? I've covered this 100,000 times. Not really. Stellar actually dumped, or let's say burned, the majority of their coins. It doesn't really do too much. It didn't really do too much. Why? Well, those coins aren't in circulation anyway. So the only way that it could do something really good for the price is if it were to get out of circulation first, meaning that either get rid of the escrow or wait for the next 5 years or so, get it out of escrow, and then decide to burn. But that's not really a relevant discussion. I would say your discussion or your point of interest means, what if they were to burn it all right now, or just get rid of it all right freaking now? Well, I mean, if that's so, they would get rid of Ripple, and then what's the utility for XRP? If you have no more foundation doing anything for it, you're pretty much a project just in the dark. There isn't really that much incentive on the XP ledger as with others. With Bitcoin, you have proof of work, so a lot of the people are developing to make Bitcoin more usable, more exciting, because the miners and the people, have an incentive, basically. With XRP, since there's no incentive to run your validator or do anything, basically, there's less of an incentive for these guys to actually build big use cases around it too. Harry Styles says, be patient. Wait until Jed out of and the settlement of the freaking lawsuit, and then after then, good things finally come. The thing about that one, Harry, is, well, a lot of people are saying that they're selling before that happens, basically, right? Or they're not trusting it before. The fun thing is, if they win the lawsuit or if Jet is all the way out and that type of stuff, people will change their mind again. They'll be like, oh, no, it was so great, haha, you see, huh? But right now, when things are going bad, they're all saying, no, I knew it from the start. I knew XRP was shit. I knew it was a shit coin. I knew it was bad. So once it does good, I don't worry about it anymore. Or once they win the lawsuit, there's nothing to worry about. It's only right now, though, in this little period when people think that, oh, just because it goes down a little bit, that it's the worst thing in the world, or that they should bash it. You don't have to. You can always be excited about crypto, even though prices are going down. And if you sold it and you're happy with that, be completely fine, man. But hey, don't think everybody should sell it, because some people just believe in the journey, and some people don't want to be or take the risk of just buying and selling all the time. Dauntless says, don't know if mentioned, but seen BitBoy Crypto mention something about a possible Ripple stablecoin. He said he's seen a white paper about it. There's actually a couple of things to say about a quote-unquote Ripple white paper. There's also a couple of different scenarios in which I could see that happening. But, I mean, we've also, for example, talked about the federated sidechains, which could host basically anything. It could host Amazon, it could host CBDC, it could host anything. Theoretically speaking, Ripple could make another stablecoin on their own, or another sort of private stablecoin. There's so many things which they could make to, for example, help the CBDC part of things out. And from a certain perspective, we should not all rely on Ripple to only do XRP related stuff, right? Of course, there's still a for-profit company, and maybe to strengthen their perspective in this, in this lawsuit, it might actually be better for them to have a stablecoin on the side too, to say, hey, we don't just have one crypto, we are a cryptocurrency company, we are helping to utilize XRP, but we have multiple different things, like, for example, the stablecoin. I don't know, it might help them out. Elsa says, all I hear in YouTube channels, so-called experts, etc., all loads of BS. What? I mean, I've never claimed to be an expert. I would never claim that. That's kind of dumb. That would be a stupid idea on my part, so no, I would never do that. But is a stablecoin really underway? I mean, it might be. But does it really matter? No. Until you see it. Let's quickly type it in. Whatever. Ripple stablecoin. Proposal. We know it's possible, but let's quickly see. Because this we've covered before on the channel. Let's see if there's a white paper about it. XRP. Let's again another question. Would it be an XRP Ledger stablecoin, or a native one, or would it be a stablecoin launched by Ripple, like a Tether, for example, like an XUSD, for example, right? Or a XRD. You got what I'm saying? No, let's do Ripple stablecoin. Let's type it in. Okay. Here on Crypto Briefing, it says Ripple will never launch a stablecoin. Let's quickly check it out. This one is from January 19, 2021. The firm has tentatively explored price-paid crypto. Ripple's XRP token is under legal scrutiny, raising the question of strategies. Ripple has expressed interest in banks, stablecoins, and CBDCs. Though Ripple can support third-party stablecoins, the firm is unlikely to issue a Tether-like coin for general circulation. From a certain perspective, it's odd if they were to do that. Then again, I mean, if it's kind of an XRP... No. I guess one thing I should quickly add here is, if they were to make a stablecoin, what would it be denominated in? If it's denominated in the US dollar, it kind of circumvents or counters all the idea that they had before of XRP being a currency that's not tied to any jurisdiction and going around all the world. You know what I mean? Like, not having ties to any one country. If they were to make a USD stablecoin, it would just be only for some specific things within the United States or so, or some countries. But China, for example, wouldn't want to work with that. So I'm not sure if they're going to build one themselves. Once more, theoretically speaking, it's possible. There's two ways they could do it, on the XP ledger or another complete ledger on the side that they might make for it. But I don't know. I could understand why to some degree, but I could also understand the counters for it. Like, it would be kind of against their whole idea. And also, they might kind of work themselves in the shithole by, for example, countering some of the companies that they want to work with. Same thing for Ripple becoming a bank. It will be good because, well, they have the capabilities for it, but it would be bad because they're just literally competing with their customers. Luke says in the chat box, hi Dusty, do you think XRP will follow a Bitcoin pattern? I don't know about that, my guy. I don't know about that. In 2011, when Bitcoin was 0.06 cents, then jumped to $8, and then so forth. Just wondering your thoughts. Bitcoin, of course, has a completely different supply, so of course it's not going to have the same type of effect at all. So no. Jorge, or George, says, I have a majority of my investment as an XRP, but I can hardly believe it will go to 10K over a night. Who has told you that XRP will go to $10,000 per coin over a night? Who has told you that? What am I seeing? Let's let's see some more of you guys' questions here. When does Flare Spark tokens come? I have no clue. I'm not really a big fan of Flare. I think Flare was designed just to make money off of it. People like to state otherwise. I don't think so. I think Flare, again, 99% of the reason it was made was just to make money because of the way the dumb distribution that they have. But let's not go too far into that because people have already tried to prove me wrong, and I can't get on that wave. Harry Styles says, Tommy, the XRP fan, thinks XRP will hit 10K overnight. That might be a problem. Has he actually said that, or are you taking his words in the wrong way? Or did he say, one day you wake up and XRP will be $10,000 per coin? Huh. Let me see what you guys are saying, because I don't watch too many others, so I'm not sure about that. But again, Flare from a perspective of, will I hold it? Will I be excited about it? Well, Flare is free, so I can never tell you I'm not going to accept it or be against it. You know, you guys know what I mean? It's like, I mean, since it's free money anyway, I'll accept it. But, once more, guys, people often like to say I'm trying to start beef or trying to be, you know, I'm never against any YouTuber, content creator, or anything like that. Some theories would like to kind of go into them and ask why exactly are you saying that, or how does that work? Like BitBoy, for example, some insider info. I would like to know, how did you get this inside information? I don't know about. And again, we have another person saying, I'm leaving this channel. Clickbait like those run guys. Dust, you've sunken below zero. How? How is this clickbait? How? That's one calculation I have to do every single day. How am I clickbaiting people? I do not know. How do I do it? But BitBoy having the insider information, that's something I'm just not sure about. And if there's an example, which you guys are saying in the chat box right now, I haven't confirmed this, that Tommy on XRP is saying, or Tommy for XRP is saying $10,000 will happen overnight. I don't know. I personally wouldn't like that too much. You know what I mean? But the guys themselves, I mean, I don't know how those guys are. And they all have their own separate reasons for saying that, most likely. But I personally wouldn't know exactly who could have inside information that tells you some stuff is going to happen. That's also, again, why I believe in connecting the dots. Don't get me wrong. If you see one guy on Twitter saying, this has happened, that has happened, that has happened, that has happened, and it's pretty freaking coincidental, I'll be like, hey, that's worth a shot. That's something that might, you know, be, mean something more. But I don't believe in, no, man, I talked to a couple of people that know their stuff. These guys are extremely wealthy. These guys know the thing, and they said this is going to happen, for sure. Because people could just take a big finger, pop it up their ass and say, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah. It makes absolutely no sense to me, and I just can't get in it. But still, a lot of people fall for it in this community, man. It's really something I struggle with to, go against, I guess. What is your opinion on Quincy? I haven't really spoken to him, to be honest with you. I haven't really talked to him at all. I mean, seems like a good guy. But yeah. Ripple looking weaker than other cryptos with the ongoing SEC battle. One article I've also seen pop up a couple of times over on Twitter, mostly on the basis that the SEC battle, of course, is a really big quote-unquote negative part for Ripple, right? I mean, XRP is one crypto that has a lot more to do, or how would you say that? It has a lot more on its head than a lot of other cryptos. Invite Quincy for a live. I wouldn't know how, man. If you spam him on Twitter, might be able to do that. Maybe we should actually, get people to... Maybe we should get to interviewing people that way. If we just go in a live stream and everybody watching the live stream goes to Twitter to tag that person, we can get them on the live. For example, right now we have 500 people watching. If we do our best and we tag those guys that we want to interview, like for example, maybe Moon Lambo, Bearable Bull, Digital Asset Investor, who knows, Quincy, Crypto Eddie, I don't know. If we do our best, I think it's pretty simple. I don't think it's too hard. To be honest with you, I guess all the guys that are in the XP community, except for Quincy, Kevin Cage, those guys I haven't spoken to before. I think the rest of them are always really cool. And Digital Asset Investor is also not that cool. He never replies, I think. But the rest of them, they always reply and they're always cool with everything I ask. So it's theoretically speaking possible. But all right. Yeah, and people are also trying to use this little argument or trying to say that XRP is worse or doing bad because of this, which I think is also ludicrous, of course. Saying that a crypto is quote-unquote bad because they have a little bit of a disadvantage over others, which can also be a really big plus. I don't know, man. I think it's a really good thing. Brad Kimes, is that Digital Perspectives? If so, yes. If that's not the same guy we're talking about, then no. Because I don't know the names of all these guys, my mans. There's so many names. If Digital Perspectives is Brad Kimes, then yes. Oh no, that's Becca Bradley. That's somebody else. Then I maybe don't know who Brad Kimes is. Brad Kimes. Let me type it in. Brad E. Kimes? Oh no, it is Becca Bradley. I think we're all good. Digital Perspective. Oh yeah, it's a cool guy. I've spoken to him before. I haven't DM'd him actually. I think we just spoke over Twitter, or he retweets my stuff sometimes. Maybe maybe I'm a crazy dude. I've never spoken to him in my life. I don't know. Okay, but no, he seemed like a cool dude at least. Oh, maybe I'm saying something completely stupid. Call of the Bearable Bull. I might, you know what I'm also a little bit afraid of actually, now that I'm thinking about it with Bearable Bull. I'm thinking about it. I think his channel is having some trouble. I'm not exactly sure what would happen to our channel, because my channel has been deleted like 2 months ago, if you guys remember. The Bearable Bull's channel is also not in the best way right now, because a lot of his videos got deleted. I'm a little bit afraid on two parts. One, that my channel being on the brink is going to take him down a little bit. And the other way around, of course, him coming on mine might not have the best effect. Because we're both not in the safest spot. That might not be very smart. But I would like to talk to him, man. Seems like a cool dude as well. Polaris came back saying XRP's fully diluted market cap is 66.8 billion. Even with the lawsuit, it's higher than Cardano's FDMC of 64 billion. And Cardano is positively hyped. $10 XRP is 1 trillion market cap, a lot more than BTC. I don't know exactly what you mean to say with that. You're talking about the... Okay, I don't know exactly why you would do that. You're talking about XRP's market cap when the distribution, or when the in full distribution. So, at total. But that would happen in never, maybe. Or at least 6 years from now that could happen. So, you would basically have to half that already, which would place it under Bitcoin then. So, I mean, that theory also doesn't line up. I like the discussions today. It's kind of fun. Oh, I have to block this guy. Give him a timeout for people who spam. Yeah, we need more moderators in the chat. Normally, there's always like maybe 2 or 3, but today we have no mods at all. I need to do streams more often to know which of you guys are loyal watchers, so I can give you the power. But it's hard for me to say just quite yet. I don't want to take the risk of somebody being too toxic and deleting comments where they shouldn't. I'll check it out, all right? I'll be streaming quite often over the next couple of weeks, I think. So we'll get more done. Here it was, and actually there's a ton of these articles about the lawsuit right now. People are just trying to really make it look bad. But again, nothing really has changed. I think that's also because if you don't hear anything positive, people take it as, oh, that's negative then. It doesn't work that way, but Ripple v SEC case has gone a bit cold, some of the XP community believe. Yeah, people are afraid because we don't have that much stuff to talk about right now, but it's just decision time. There isn't as much back and forth as before, it's just decision time. We have all the dates from prior, which basically just means that Ripple has been most likely given quite a lot of documents by the SEC. Not certainly, but we are assuming so because the majority of these dates, like July 2nd, which you're seeing right here, Ripple was supposed to get a ton of info. We cannot know if they actually got it. We can only know if they didn't get it if Ripple put up another motion to acquire it once more. But if the SEC handed it over, you don't really see that in court. At least that's what we found a little bit later. So right now, not hearing anything could mean two things. One, we don't hear anything because they are meeting and conferring, giving each other documents that do not need the court because they're just coming to good conclusions. Another one, obviously, could be that, well, the judge just had to make a couple of decisions, and she's taking her sweet time, either because there's a lot of stuff to cover and to read into, or logically because she has a lot of stuff to do. And maybe there's some really big criminal cases that came up front that need a little bit of attention first. I mean, yeah. There's so many different things which you could say, but no. A little bit less news doesn't really scare me at all. Vechain. Do you guys hold Vechain, by the way? Let me know in the chat box real quick. Do you guys actually hold Vechain? Back in the day, I think a month or two ago, if I used to ask this question, oh my days was the comment section hyped for Vechain. But right now, I don't know. I don't know if you guys are really big holders. And somebody says, no SEC news is likely good news. A good point as well. What a question, dude. I mean, I don't know if guys... I don't know if the people in the chat box, if you guys actually hold... Okay, you guys do, huh? A lot of you guys, at least. At least 10 people said yes. So, okay. That's pretty juicy. No Vechain? All right. Yeah, no, not everybody. Vechain proves the real-world value of blockchain. One thing I should just quickly say about Vechain is this is one of the only cryptos out there that has actually proven that they're not just talk. With Ripple/XRP, oh my days, do I think that they will be big, right? But again, the keyword will be. With Vechain, the partnership that they already have and the utility that they've already built for themselves is actually out of this world, I sometimes believe. I'm sometimes thinking like, wow, how can they really do that? How can they really get this? How can they really? And if you're wondering, yes, I do hold it, partially because it was so cheap, and partially, I've actually made, I think, 2 or 3 videos in the past explaining why I'm buying a certain amount of Vechain. And that was all at like half a sentence so. And right now, it was close to 25 before. Right now, it's, what is it now? Maybe 10? Let's see. 8.5. I mean, my money is so many times folded that I don't really care about Vechain anymore, man. I just have the Vechain that I have. I bought a couple of times at the dip, but I'm just holding through because, I don't know, my Vechain is already done so proper. And I don't know, I believe in the project very much so. Let's quickly read the keynotes. Vechain's service and blockchain business model is reframing the importance of blockchain in the supply chain process. This basically refers to Vechain's ideology, but also one of their big services, which is that you can actually, as a company, order basically a blockchain business model, and they'll make it for you. Blockchain is an immutable asset for the medical industry, increasing product and data assurance, specifically important right now during the whole CV19 ordeal. Vechain has proved that industries can increase data verifiability through blockchain integration, and trust in blockchain technology is no longer simply a desire, but an attainable goal. Yeah. I don't want to read it too loud, but they're doing a lot of stuff right now that's important, that matters. And Taylor, if you don't spam, you won't get blocked. But you're saying you blocked me over trying to show you a video, but not for the guy saying to kill yourself. I don't see everything, bro. I just see you spamming something the whole time, so you're hidden. If you just say it once, you have a higher chance of just staying there. And there's not too many mods in the chat box, so don't get too salty, my guy. And Rick says, Dusty, do you think Coinbase has plans to add Vechain anytime soon? I think, wait. You should actually look up Coinbase listing proposal, because I believe Coinbase has like 20 or so coins that they are looking into listing, and I'm not sure if Vechain is among them, but what you can kind of take from me is that almost every single time a coin gets listed on Coinbase, the price does pretty well. So if Vechain gets listed, expect another 30% or so increase. At least that's what I'm kind of thinking of, at least. You know what I also, by the way, I get so many freaking, can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it anymore. Oh, I should have done it prior. I get so many calls a day, by the way, on my phone, just from those freaking, if you're Dutch, you know what I'm talking about, of those freaking energy company scammers, man, or not necessarily scammers, but energy sales guys. Whew. It's freaking annoying, man. I get like maybe 4 a day, every single day. Today, let's see. Today I have 3 already. It's 9 p.m. almost. Dusty is from Holland? Maybe. If you know, you know. Visa plans to build out its crypto ecosystem. Financial Services Corporation Visa is set to build an ecosystem that will make crypto more accessible. Yeah, let me just quickly go over these and kind of, Israel president to receive oath as NFT at inauguration. Binance to double its compliance team amid tightening regulatory issues. And Binance's CZ response to high hostility from several financial regulators. All of these are interesting. Ethereum has added over 5 million new unique addresses in 30 days. So Ethereum basically making a lot of big moves, people getting into it right now, specifically because right now people are more uncertain about the future of crypto. They're taking their money from these lesser known altcoins back into Ethereum, specifically coins that are actually hosted on Ethereum, the tokens. Visa plans to build out this crypto ecosystem. Well, Visa is already pretty deep into it, but they're just expanding piece by piece. They've now planned to ink partnerships with over 50 companies to allow customers to seamlessly spend digital currencies at roughly 70 million merchants around the globe. It's not really new, though. It's not really anything that significant because we were already expecting all of this to happen. So, yeah, not too severe, not too crazy, but it's good to see Visa coming out for it. The whole NFT ordeal here, I don't really care about that whatsoever, but Isaac Herzog, Israel's newest president, will receive an NFT today after taking his presidential oath. The NFT is a tokenized replica of an oath taken by Herzog's late father and former president of the country, and Herzog will hold the NFT and return it at the end of his term. I guess that's pretty fun, that an NFT is going to be gifted to every president from now on forward or something like that. I'm not exactly sure why you would want that if you're going to have to give it back at the end of your term, but I guess it's just the same as kind of like a thing for your office, like a little piece of paper. If you have to give it through. I don't know. Then about Binance, well, they're doing a lot right now to make sure that people aren't that afraid anymore of regulations. They're trying their best to kind of blend in and I guess to not get so much trouble anymore whenever some regulator comes out and I have to just, you know what, I'll go on a blocking spree. You know what I'll do? I'll just do that. Everybody who's too hateful that I don't, think is within margin, I'll just block. It might be smart. You guys are saying ignore the haters. You know how difficult that actually is? Because what's the fun part about it is the majority of time you look, the good ones, you see them, but you don't really see them. The bad ones, though, you focus on all of that. And it's not that easy, at least I've noticed. Maybe for other people it is, but for me it's not that easy to just read over it. I made a vow earlier to just not let it get to my head, which I'm not, because I'll just be able to live very comfortably with people hating very often. But still, it gets to you in some way. If people write some of that stuff, I'm like, ooh, yeah, ooh, you want to ask why for some of those things, but. All right, the whole Binance ordeal, Binance is just expanding their team to make sure they never have the same mistakes. And partially also, they're going at this discussion head on, fully, because they think it's undue. They don't think it should be that way because Binance wants to always approach these things positively. Yet, the difficult part, in my opinion, comes in the fact that, well, even though Binance wants to do things positively, with the way they structured their company by having it all over the world, having a Byzantine structure, so having, 50 different countries that they operate in, and basically no formal headquarters, anything like that, it's quite difficult for any regulator, and it's also quite difficult for any, prosecutor to kind of look at it and be like, yeah, What are we going to do? What do you do now? And Binance didn't really make that simple deliberately. If they wanted to be really clear about everything, they'd make one headquarters and operate from there most of the time. You might say, oh, but this is the modern world, so they don't do that. No, right? They don't have a headquarters purely for this thought, like we just said right now, to circumvent some of the regulatory uncertainty and unclarity. Some countries out there are really worried about Binance. I've taken some of my money off Binance. The majority is still on there because I really don't care that much. But I did tell most of my friends, be a little bit careful with Binance to not be overexposed, because at any time your country could say, we're going to stop working with Binance, and that might be very annoying. So can you keep your money on there? I would personally say yes. It's still one of the most trustworthy exchanges out there, and I don't think they'll ever steal your money in that perspective. I do, however, think your country might eventually say, yeah, we don't want to work with Binance anymore, and you might only have a couple of days to take your money out, as an example. And that might be the more annoying part of things, but yeah, that's my thought process. And if you're worried about it spreading to other exchanges, if you're working with properly regulated exchanges, that's not going to be an issue. It's only for these exchanges which have no KYC and that have such easy ways to do everything. Bitrue is kind of the same though. It's pretty simple to do stuff on there. Some other exchanges like Bittrex or Kraken, if you just have to do KYC to start off, I mean, you fall a lot easier under the AML, anti-money laundering rules, and so those are a lot less likely to ever be, jabbed. And I think the UK is actually just the worst country out there doing all of this. The UK is just really strict on what operations they want to allow. And so we might see more from the UK in terms of blockings, but you know what? We'll see as it comes over us. All right, guys, that was it for today's little live stream. Might do another live stream later today. I'm not sure. We have a lot of stuff to talk about still, but we'll check it out. Taylor says you should still show that videos. It would make sense why people have those price predictions. Type in Valil Capital XRP on YouTube. You know what, my guy? I will do that for you right now. Let me see. I will do that for you to make you happy. All right, let me type it in. Oh yeah, that's also. Let me see if this is the thing we're talking about. Is that the guy with $35,000 per XRP? Yeah, my opinion also, I think that's the guy with 35,000. Yeah, no, that's dumb shit. In my personal perspective, that's garbage. Garbage content, not good stuff. I actually used to really like James Rule as well. But after that discussion and the fact that they are in it together in the same company, and most likely just doing it for attention, no, I didn't like that at all. So I lost a lot of respect for James that day, the day he did that. And the video you're trying to show me, or at least the guy, I don't respect him at all either. Not a single piece of respect. You might say that a guy like me who likes XRP would be happy the higher that people put their price predictions, right? But it doesn't really work that way. If somebody, for example, goes on to try to convince the entire XP community that $50,000 per XP is going to happen, I would not like that guy. Because I think you're feeding people a lie, basically, or wishful thinking. Because theoretically speaking, anything is possible, right? But you're feeding some people just things which aren't necessarily logical at all. And then on my channel, for example, they're going to be more annoyed if you're not on the same type of level of being so hypey, you know what I mean? And just not having the same type of bullishness on you. I just think if you're feeding people a lie like that, it only has negative consequences, except for maybe yourself. And so I don't really respect that at all. But yeah, all right. That's too much hate for today. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video, though. Still, if you did enjoy it, make sure you press that like button. And I'll definitely see you guys again a little bit later today. Might want to subscribe. More videos coming up. If you enjoy XRP, just stick around. And I'll see you guys again in another one pretty soon.